I'm sure by now everyone's seen what the State Department has done in terms of rescinding not just all foreign student visas, but also visas for people involved in the censorship of Americans. Your thoughts, sir?
This is a shot across the bow at the government censors around the world. This applies to Europe, this applies to Latin America, this applies to Brazil. We are facing, as we are solving the censorship crisis here in the United States, the U.S. censors in exile have fled to their in-power government allies in foreign governments to use foreign censorship laws to coerce American social media companies and American citizens about what they can and cannot post online. And I'm overjoyed to see free speech diplomacy pouring out of this State Department, not just from their shutdown of the Global Engagement Center and its remnants, the reorganization of the State Department through the shutdown of the Democracy, Rights, and Labor Group, which was a major global censorship vector, the shutdown of USAID, and the billions of censorship funding that ultimately poured out of that organ. But now they are sending a message to global speech regulators that we will fight back if they try to enforce the clause of foreign law speech control against American social media companies. The Code of Practice on Disinformation will be mandatory in just 1 month's time in the European Union. This is the secret weapon of the global censors to be able to get back control over X and Facebook and Instagram after the free speech efforts by Elon and to some extent Mark Zuckerberg. And this is a message that if EU regulators decide to go too far on that, they will be persona non grata here in the U.S. They will not be able to visit their little vacation homes in Miami or Martha's Vineyard or New York City, as well as especially to the nation of Brazil, which is currently completely captive by a rogue Brazilian Supreme Court who happens to work directly with the former U.S. State Department, as well as little State Department spawns at Harvard University, such as Barroso, the head of their Supreme Court, and Alejandro de Moraes, who was working with half a dozen U.S. censorship NGOs as he was the head of the censorship sector of the Brazilian Supreme Court.